पतली पतली गली में चला जाता हूँ, सवारी को मना नहीं करता हूँ।
हाँ, आराम से भाई साहब।
जहाँ आपकी मर्सिडीज नहीं जा सकती है वहाँ हमारा ऑटो जाएगा।
कोई दिक्कत नहीं है भाई साहब, धक्का मार के वापसी बैक कर लेते हैं हम।
आइए मैडम, ये है हमारी बसंती है, आपने जहाँ जाना आपको हम वहाँ छोड़ेंगे।
Thank you. I love riding in auto rickshaws, but probably the biggest frustration for me is that you always have to barter and haggle just to take a ride. But today on Unicorn, we're featuring a startup that aims to disrupt the three-wheeler transport segment. Now, let's be honest, it's a really disorganized space, but this venture sees potential, and so they're adding some organization to the chaos. This is Jugnoo, a Chandigarh-based company which serves as an auto rickshaw aggregator. They see more than 15,000 transactions on the platform every day. We caught the founders here in Delhi and are going to put their claims to the test. So, are you ready to take a ride with Jugnoo?
The auto rickshaw is India's taxi. This seems to be the thought that sparked the idea for Chandigarh-based startup Jugnoo, at the helm of which is founder Isha Singla, Chief Process Officer at Jugnoo. An IIT Delhi alumna, Isha worked with McKinsey and InMobi before setting off on her startup journey with Jugnoo in 2014. The founder has all her hopes pinned on the unorganized auto rickshaw market, the potential of which she feels has no bound. But how exactly is Jugnoo tapping into the sector?
Jugnoo is an auto rickshaw based service through which you can get sorted all your logistics based needs, be it an auto rickshaw ride, be it a delivery, be it fruits and vegetables delivery, or if you want groceries delivered at your home.
After providing affordable autos through just a few taps and swipes to people in close to 40 cities, Jugnoo expanded its horizons and made sharp growth in two other fields, logistics as well as the hyperlocal sector. Through the Jugnoo app, one can order groceries from Kirana stores and merchants can have their raw materials delivered to them. Backed by strong technology, Jugnoo's utilization of autos to the fullest is nothing short of impressive. But the real challenge for Jugnoo lies in convincing the auto drivers to make use of their smartphones and join Jugnoo. But Jugnoo overcame this with their induction and training courses. Jugnoo also ensures the drivers have all their documents in place and go through a verification.
In India, there are around 50 lakh auto drivers, and the average utilization that they have is around 30%. So right now they're not able to get the rides. And if you look at an auto rickshaw, so there's so much space and so much more that he can transport in an auto, and at the same time they are available, like they're spread across the city. So in terms of time efficiency, they'll be much more faster to respond to a service, and we are trying to maximize their utilization. So that is why it is not just the auto rickshaw rides that they are doing, they're also doing the deliveries and everything else that is possible through autos.
In just over 2 years, Jugnoo has emerged as a promising player in the transport aggregation business. But does Jugnoo have its fingers in too many pies? We are putting the founder in the hot seat. Here's what we want to know. What is Jugnoo's business strategy? Jugnoo also competes with India's leading unicorn, Ola, which has Ola Auto. How will it fight the competition? What incentive does Jugnoo offer the auto rickshaw drivers who sign up on the platform?
Jugnoo aims to streamline and bring together this very disorganized system of auto rickshaw drivers. How do you do that?
The way we get them on board is you should just try it out. Whenever you're sitting idle, you don't have any passengers. So you just turn your Jugnoo on, and in case you get any rides, so just take them. And eventually they stop taking any street-hailed rides and just ride with Jugnoo.
So that sounds like a good reason for auto drivers to get involved. What about riders? How do you convince them to download the app?
So the first ride is generally, either it's a user-to-user referral when they have a 50 rupees credit in their account and they just want to try it out. Or sometimes whenever they are in a need and they don't want to walk long distances to find an auto and want to just get an auto at their pickup location and without any hassles of bargaining or checking with the driver whether he'll go to their drop location or not. So these are the two main reasons.
Now, Jugnoo has competition in India's ultimate unicorn, Ola. And Ola has an Ola Auto function. How do you plan to compete against that?
Auto drivers never feel a connection with Ola because they do also have their taxi segment. And whenever auto driver gets to know about it, they're always thinking that, Ola is always going to prefer giving the users to the taxi segments rather than an auto segment. So that's why, they never feel a connection. And because of this, they do not have a large supply of auto drivers, due to which their quality of service that they are able to provide to the users is also not that good.
It was so great to meet the founder of Jugnoo today, and one thing is clear, she's extremely aware of the ground realities that face auto rickshaw drivers. I think that their USP, especially as they face off against Ola Auto, is going to be the fact that they have a presence in smaller cities. But we have used the app and it does still have some kinks, so we hope that in the future they can sort of sort all those bugs out, and we wish them the best. That's what I think. Let's hear what the mentors have to say about this.
Meet Girish Shivani, the Executive Director and Fund Manager of Your Nest Angel Fund. He works hands-on with startups and has a strong experience in fund management and equity research. He has an eye for emerging trends in the startup space and is known to call a spade a spade. Meet Padmaja Ruparel, the dynamic and outspoken president of one of the world's largest group of business angels, Indian Angel Network. Under Padmaja's leadership, IAN has gathered over 100 stellar companies in its portfolio that span 7 countries. She knows a good idea when she sees one.
Jugnoo is a very interesting startup. I think I was very thrilled by it. Somehow the name itself gives you that feeling of very passionate entrepreneurs. There is really a need. I think there's a need from 2 perspectives. One is availability, but more importantly, price.
We've seen them scale up. We've seen them do some very interesting stuff on the auto side when people were focused on cabs. One advice to Jugnoo would be to not really go overboard as on the customer acquisition side of it, and not burn too much money just acquiring customers, because at the end of the day, retention is a much bigger challenge in a segment like this, and especially in a community which is more price conscious.
We often hear that India will be home to the next Silicon Valley, perhaps in Bengaluru, which serves as a hub for so many innovative startups. But I can't help but wonder, are Indian startups really garnering enough attention and investment from across the ocean? What do global investors look for when they invest in Indian startups? And what restricts them? Let's get all the answers in the State of the Startup.
The global investor gold rush in India was at its peak when Tiger Global Management bought a slice of Flipkart back in 2010. But since then, it has been on the low with cash crunch, valuation cuts, and many shutdowns in the startup scene in India. But now in 2016, global investors have shown keen interest and want to expand their already established presence in India. Investors that sat out during the bubble and bust are now looking at the startup landscape here and scouting for startups that they believe will stand the test of time.
Any investor is going to continue to invest if he can get returns and can get repatriated his money. I think repatriation still needs some work. It's taking a lot of time, it's too process oriented. I think that bureaucracy needs to come down even more, and I think this is the government which can do it, and as we've seen in many other aspects.
Indian startups are just beginning to find serious global interest. Much more will come, and I think the reason that's happening is that you need a certain level of scale of things happening before people become globally interested.
But we want to know, what will make these investors make a beeline for the Indian startup landscape again?
If you look at Indian startups today, we have a lot of them, but many are still doing Me Too things. So global investors would look at things that disrupt Indian and global markets. And we are beginning to have some companies that do it, but the more of them that we have, the more global investors will make a beeline for India.